5 times a week. So it's not, you don't have to become a gym rat and go every day or anything crazy, but you do have to get, walking, something, just a moderate activity at least 5 times a week. If somebody has excess weight, especially weight around their waist, that increases your risk dramatically. If they're still smoking, that increases your risk somewhere between 2 and 4 times. So if there's any of these things that are within somebody's control, that's going to be the biggest prevention they can do. If they have absolutely nothing in their risk factors when they talk to a doctor or look at the website or however they choose to do it, then yeah, your risk is rare and it still could happen, but at least it's pretty minimal, that less than 20%. So the rest of the world fits in that more than 80% that they could do something about. And those are the people we really need to pay attention to and reach out, because if they can just take away 1 or 2 of those risk factors, they may save their life.
Well, that's true. And from what you said about yourself, I mean, you were doing everything right. And but now, was there someone in your family that was predisposed to this?
Nope, there is no box to mark that says this is why it happened. I just, unfortunately, the hand that was dealt to me was not a very good hand. So I've had to play my cards the best I can. But no, unfortunately, they never have determined why any of it has happened. So the best I can do is live every day the best I can and do my best to make sure that any risk factors I have at least are minimized. Like the same things, make sure I eat well, get my activity, maintain some good weight. I don't smoke or do drugs, and I'm long past the age of birth control or any of the other things that are on that list. So,
well, but yeah. Kelly, it sounds like it's almost like with me, with my breast cancer and all the surgeries I've had, because I lived a good lifestyle and I continue to do so, I was able to survive all of this and come through it with, minimal. I mean, somebody else would think it was a lot of damage, but to me, it was minimal damage because I'm still here and I'm walking around and I'm able to do all the things that I do. But with you, it was the same thing. Because you led a healthy lifestyle, you were able to survive this well, even going through that twice. And then after going through all that work with the stents and so forth and cleaning you out and so forth, having another stroke. I mean, people would say, how come? I mean, it just seems so impossible. That's just a lot to have gone through. And you're a walking, talking, breathing example of how someone gets through something like this and then lives a very productive life, because you're doing a lot of good for a lot of people. So what do you think that our listeners would like to know more about, and where could they find that out?
Well, my website is therightnutritionplan.com, and I have, again, just because of what I do, almost everything on there is free, lots of recipes, lots of blog posts, videos, nutrition tips, all sorts of stuff to just help keep people healthy. If they would like more specific information, I do have 4 heart healthy videos and recipes. Again, they're all free, and they can go to therightnutritionplan.com/heart, or if you just go to the website, you'll find it there too. And again, just trying to get people to realize that you can eat really heart healthy without it being bland food. Every time I go talk at one of the hospitals, people get stuck in that rut of eating, boneless, skinless, steamed vegetables and chicken breast, and it looks bland, it tastes bland, and I'm really, really happy to be alive and living every day. The last thing I want to do is eat food that is bland and boring just to make it another day. So I really encourage people to eat, not only healthy, but at least enjoy your healthy food too. So I try and make sure that there's lots of good recipes out there for people so that they can realize they don't have to eat that bland, boring food.
Yeah, I think that's a big factor. I mean, when you talk about healthy eating, a lot of people do think that it's got to be, just very neutral and very, very unappetizing, and that's not the case at all. I mean, there's a lot of of spices you can use, a lot of different herbs. I mean, really good things that would make a big difference. And I think that's so. I have a question because I know that I'm at the stage now where I get checked every 6 months. How often do you need to get checked?
So at this point, they're still having me check only once a year. Again, much like your neighbor, I can tell when things are happening. And so if I need to go in earlier, I just walk in pretty much at this point. But there are a lot of things that you can do, and I do these pretty well. So I have a treadmill desk. And so one of the things that really helps keep the blood flowing, make sure it doesn't get stagnant, is activity. And so 30 minutes of moderate activity 5 times a week is all that you really need. But for a person like me, that's not enough. And so I have a desk that's on hydraulics, and it goes up, and I actually walk on my treadmill while I do various activities where normally somebody would sit at their desk. So, there's things like that you can get very creative with, and I have done, because that keeps me from having to go in as frequently. I'm able to monitor my own health at a much higher level by doing some kind of creative things like that.
Well, it's very interesting. One of my members of my mastermind group has a desk like that. She walks on a treadmill. And when I just find that very interesting. I mean, I know that's good and that's healthy, but I know that when I stand up, like I do a lot of my check writing and things like that standing up. I do a lot of my paperwork standing up. And after about 30 minutes, I'm tired. I need to shift position. Is it easier because you're walking?
It is.
It is, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
And the nice thing about the desk, and there's a lot of different types of treadmill desks, but the one I have is the one that is on hydraulic, so I can raise it up and down. So if I get tired, or there's certain things like when I'm trying to type, I don't type and walk very well, so I can sit down then.
Yeah, I can't imagine why not. I mean,
I haven't figured that one out. But I can talk to my clients, and I can do a lot while walking. But so this one, then I can bring it down, sit down, do whatever work I need to stand back up. So I can stand, or I can walk, or I can sit. So for me, it's a perfect solution to making sure that I'm getting that activity and keeping my blood flowing more than the average person.
Well, I have to tell you, Kelly, I think you're like a walking miracle. You look great. You're educating people. You're doing a lot for women in terms of awareness and getting your message out. And, people, go to her website. There's just so much there. It's called The Right, that's RIGHT, nutritionplan.com. There's so much information there. Can they get your books there as well, Kelly?
Yes, they can, or on Amazon.
Or on Amazon. Fantastic. Well, I'll tell you something. It's just been a pleasure interviewing you today. Are there any last-minute tips that you would like to give our listeners? We've got a couple of minutes left.
The best one I can say is know your risks. Get on one of the websites or do whatever research you need so that you can know what your personal risks are. They are different for everybody. There's difference between ages, sexes, minorities. So you really have to know your risk. And then if there's anything on that list that you actually have control over, make a commitment to fix at least one of those things. Lower your own risk. Every time we lower a risk, we have a chance of saving a life.
Okay, you've heard it here. There's so many things that you can do by yourself. You can watch your diet. You can exercise. You can reduce your stress. You can listen to all of these different things. And remember that HEART, H-E-A-R-T example she gave you of the symptoms to recognize. There's so many things that you can learn from Kelly. So I would recommend going to her website. Again, it is therightnutritionplan.com. therightnutritionplan.com. Kelly, thanks so much for being with us. You were a wonderful guest and inspiration, and we look forward to having you continue all your great work.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your willingness to continue to get this word out, and hopefully all together we're gonna save some women's lives.
Let's hope so. That's what it's all about.